like and share and subscribe. Yay!
Welcome to another episode of Keep Your Eye on the Ball, your YouTube channel dedicated to all things Denver Bronco football, with me, your host, Adam. If I look a little sleepy today, it's because I am. This college game day is kicking my butt a little bit, and I am not 25 years old anymore. So I look like a giant 18-year-old? I promise you, I am not. And I'm a little sleepy, but I can always talk Bronco football, and that's what I'm here for. And this week, I have more roster reviews as we continue towards training camp. And this week, I'll be talking Denver Bronco running backs, the guys who are toting the rock, and we'll see how this shakes out, because 2 weeks ago, I would have said this is going to be a really easy preview show. I mean, it's going to pretty much written in stone who they're going to keep and who's moving forward. And then Mike List upset that apple cart and told us that either Javonte Williams or Samaje Perine will be cut at the end of training camp. So I give my thoughts on that situation. I also give you who I think my starter will be for the year, as well as backups and a best of the rest. So without further ado, let's jump into the episode. This week, we're going to be talking about the running backs. This position was kind of going to be ho-hum until we got some breaking news earlier on this week, where Mike Kliss reported that Samaje Perine and Javonte Williams will essentially be playing for their jobs this coming training camp. Whoever figures to be the quote-unquote loser of that group is likely to be released by the team. So I'll give my thoughts on that particular situation, and then I'll actually go through the list of the running backs that we have on the team. I do want to preface that while going through the roster, I didn't find that they added the undrafted rookie free agents into the official roster on the team website. So I'm taking that list that I know that we have and comparing that to the official site. If I miss a guy, I'm super sorry. Let me know in the comments, and I'll give a quick blurb about it. Or if you're one of those undrafted rookie free agents and you're like, bro, why didn't you mention me? I'm on the team. Trust me, I got you. I'll make another video adding you in there, and I'll give you a shout out. Just let me know. So moving right along, yes, I do have my list, because as smart as I am, I do not remember everything. So moving along, we got Tyler Beatty, 5'8", 197. He did bounce back and forth between the active roster and the practice squad last year. 1 rushing attempt, no yards. He did have 1 catch for 24 yards and a score. And it was actually a pretty decent catch and run that he had. Moving along, we have Audric Estime. He is our rookie from Notre Dame, 5'11", 227. Last year, he rushed for 1,341 yards, 18 touchdowns, and he did average 6.4 yards a carry. Not the biggest threat out of the backfield, but he did catch 17 balls for 142 yards and no scores. We have Jaleel McLaughlin, 5'7", 187. Last year, he ran for 410 yards, 1 score, and averaged 5.4 yards a carry. Where he was the most dangerous was out of the backfield, catching 31 balls for 160 yards and 2 scores. Everything that I've heard coming out of camp is that Sean Payton loves this guy, and he wants to get him on the field more often. I think this is actually part of the reason that they're looking to move on from Perine or Williams, is that they want to get the ball to McLaughlin more often. And with that being said, we have Samaje Perine, 5'10", 236. He ran for 238 yards, 1 score, and averaged 4.5 yards a carry. This is not a typo. He caught 50 balls for 455 yards. That's a lot. That's a lot for a running back. It's also a lot for a running back who's only a backup. So keep that in mind. Javonte Williams, 5'10", 220. He led the team last year with 774 yards and 3 scores. The yards per carry is a bit disappointing, and he only averaged 3.6 yards a carry. He did throw in, however, 47 catches for 228 yards and 2 scores. Again, 40 balls for a back is a lot, especially not like these guys aren't like Marshall Faulk or anything. These are basically they're just catching checkdowns out of the backfield. So that tells you how often Russ is checking down, but it also tells you that we got good pass catchers coming out of the backfield. And lastly, but not least, we have Blake Watson, 5'9", 195 pounds. He's an undrafted rookie free agent from Memphis. Last year, he had 1,152 yards, 14 scores, and he averaged 6 yards a carry. He also threw in 53 balls for 480 yards and 3 scores. I'm going to tell you right now, 120 balls, roughly, coming out of the backfield by all 3 of our backs that we had last year is a lot. So, and again, just to reiterate, everything that I've heard from the team and from Sean Payton sounds like the running backs are going to be doing a lot of running and they're going to be doing a lot of catching. So, what does that mean? Well, I got you covered. So now we move into the breakdown of how I think the roster is going to shake out. Frankly, I'm not sure. If I had to be very honest, if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said it'd been Williams, Perine, McLaughlin, Estime. Those are your 4. That's who they're going to keep. After the news from Mike Kliss, I am not sure, because that running back room, they have abilities that kind of overlap over each other, and you don't necessarily have a 3-down jack of all trades running back. And in today's NFL, that's becoming like very, very rare to find, and that's why you see so many of these running back committees, and they can kind of drive down their value, and that means you have to pay them less. That's a whole other story for a whole nother day. But if I had to guess right now, your starters are going to be, this is a very, very shaky vote for Javonte Williams. Now, I don't think that discounts what Perine does well, and I don't think that discounts what Javonte does well, but I think Javonte just has a little bit higher ceiling, and the thought is that he'll be better 1 year removed from the injury. That's just my feeling. Samaje Perine is actually a really, really good back. He's a very, very solid back. And I think he was a better runner at times last year than Javonte. So if they decided to keep Perine over Javonte Williams, I don't know. I mean, I would be disappointed as a fan. I don't know that that's necessarily the wrong move either. So it's very much up in the air. I wish I had a more solid answer. As far as backups, it's going to be McLaughlin and Estime. Estime is going to be primarily a first and second down guy. Just from watching him at Notre Dame, the pass catching part of his game isn't necessarily very developed. It's also, from what I saw, he's just a check down valve. That's it. And if I'm being very, very honest, I've mentioned this in other videos, I am not the biggest Estime fan. He reminds me a lot of Brandon Jacobs when the running back from New York some years ago, in that he's a very, very physical runner and he's a very, very big runner. He is not the most elusive. He's not the most explosive. And I think he looks for more contact than what is necessary. I was not a fan of the pick. Let's put it that way. But if he's great, I'll be happy, because it means it's good for Denver. And obviously, Jaleel McLaughlin is going to be the change of pace third down guy. Sean Payton has talked at length that he loves Jaleel McLaughlin and he wants to find ways to get him the ball. I feel like Jaleel McLaughlin could be like our Darren Sproles, where you're going to have to find spaces for him to be effective in the game, but he's going to make an impact when he touches the ball in those phases. And I think with another year, he's gonna post some numbers. I think. And then best of the rest, you have Peyton Watson, Blake Watson. If I had to choose, probably Watson. And that's no disrespect to Beatty or anybody else. I just think there's a little bit more upside with Watson. So. My thoughts, again, Beatty, not a bad backup or practice squad running back, but I think that's probably his ceiling. As far as Estime, giving you my thoughts about that. McLaughlin, again, I think is going to be great. I think they really stumbled upon a gem with McLaughlin. Perine, man, it's so hard because they're both such good backs, and I feel like passing or giving up on one of them so they can make room for Estime is just it's short-sighted. To me, it's very short-sighted. But they are both free agents, so it doesn't look like they had a long-term plan for either one of them anyway. And we'll just see how it goes. But Samaje Perine, do not forget this. Samaje Perine caught almost 50 balls out of the backfield. Samaje Perine ran for 4.5 yards a clip. He was, at times, our best running back last year. So, I don't know. It literally could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised in either direction that they go. My hope is that they keep Javonte Williams, just because I like Javonte Williams. But if they kept Perine, I don't think it's necessarily. I almost think they're kind of interchangeable at this point. So we'll see what happens, but I think that's how it's going to shake out. Hello, this is Adam from the future, and what Adam in the present didn't know is that Blake Watson was going to be placed on the non-football injury list. But essentially this means is that Watson will still count against the 90, but this is kind of just to give him some time to ramp up in the training camp, because he is an undrafted rookie free agent, because it seems like the top 3 spots are already decided anyway. I think this makes his climb, or his push to get onto the roster, a little bit more difficult, but it really doesn't mean anything as of right now. It could mean something come training camp time. That is something that President Adam didn't know, that only future Adam could know. So as we wrap up the show, as always, thank you so much for your likes, your views, comments, good or bad. As always, I like interacting with you guys. I love talking about Denver Bronco football. So anytime I see something like that, you know what, it's a good day for me. Good or bad comments. Next week, I will be introducing another position group. And what could it be? I don't know. I will tell you, I do need to do the defensive line or the offensive line pretty soon, because it's going to take a little bit. Just from looking at the amount of bodies there, it's going to be ambitious. Let's just put it that way. And stay tuned, because I got a big announcement for you guys, and I'm super excited. As soon as this gets finalized, I'm going to let you guys know about it. Believe me when I say that, I'm super excited. If you can't tell my voice, I'm super excited to tell you about some good news we got coming from me personally, for you and the channel. So until next time, remember to keep your eye on the ball, and I'll talk to you next time.